Good morning. We're out. I guess this is the calm before this storm that's supposed to be hitting us, that's give us an amber warning. So I thought, you know what? We'll get out, get the walk done, get a video done, and then if it does hit later on today, I've done my bit. I've done my walk. So, yeah. It's quite, it's a little bit misty this morning. Again, the camera might not pick it up so well. I keep saying that, but the camera's actually really good on this. It picked up that steam coming out of the grid okay. I think what it is, it's not the camera, it's the processing. Oh God. Oh, you can hear the, I don't know if he's a coach or something, this guy's voice. I guess the carpet monsters are back in school. Anyhow, let's get on. But yeah, it's the processing. By the time Clipchamp's got hold of it and forced this into 1080p, this camera will do 4K at 60 frames per second, I think. It certainly does 4K. But if you want to do that, if you want to process at 4K using Clipchamp, Microsoft's wonderful video editing software, you have to pay. You have to pay a subscription to it, which is utterly ridiculous. You should not have to be paying money to process something at 4K when the software is free. It's just another way of getting them onto this god-awful 365 subscription model. Anyway, yeah. They want you to go onto this 365 subscription, which I'm not paying for. I have a full version of Microsoft Office, the latest one, and I don't pay a subscription for that. I bought the one-off payment version of it. I don't do subscriptions for things like that, they can get lost. It's a right rip-off. By the time you factor in how much it would cost you to be subscribed to this thing, you've bought the product itself multiple times over. So, yeah. So I have to record and process at 1080p at 60 frames per second. But by the time YouTube's done its wonderful compression, when you're uploading it, it don't look anywhere near as good as when I actually record it on the camera. So that's why I always say, because I don't know what details will actually be in there. But all that snow and frost and everything is gone. So yeah, we'll see how this turns out. But yeah, I do have a topic to talk about, which we'll talk about when we get to the park. So yeah, I'll do that. I'm going to pop into the shop, which I'm pretty much walking past right now. I'm going to do that, and then go on to the park and see you then. So I'll catch up to you right then. Right, here we are in the park. As you can see, it's quite grey and weird. I guess might be the prelude to the storm. The calm before the storm is actually quite quiet and is an area, a breeze. But yeah, it's bizarre. After yesterday, it was really windy. You saw in the video, and I ended up getting a Arctic blast to the side of my body. It's a little bit weird today. So I think this is going to be the lull. Anyway, so as you know, I got some money for Christmas, and I thought, you know what? I'll pop on Amazon and see what games there are to buy, some physical media. And not that long ago, Amazon used to be excellent for buying games. They used to carry, quite a large stock, and you never really had a problem getting games. Even some of the older games on that generation, hell, even some games from the generation before. And I say this because what I noticed, and I've noticed this now the past few times I've been on there, is just how bad it's got in terms of getting physical media. Now, I like the Silent Hill games, and I was interested in getting the Silent Hill F. I didn't get it last year when it came out, and when was it, was it around September time last year? I don't know. I had other things I needed to get at the time. So I thought, oh, you know what, I'll have a look at getting it. Well, you can get it off Amazon if you're prepared to pay massively more than what its recommended retail price is. And I mean massively more. We're talking like 80 odd, 90 odd pounds. So I'm thinking, what the hell's going on? So when I look at it, oh, it's the day one edition. Oh, right, okay. So people are obviously snapped up these resellers on there. The usual mob will have probably bought up large quantities of it, the day one edition, to sell it at about £30, £20 to £30 more than what it should be later on. And obviously they're not really having much joy, I don't think, in selling it. However, Amazon themselves don't have it in stock. It's just these resellers, these scalpers. Needless to say, you all know my philosophy. I've said it before, I won't pay more than the RRP for something. And that's a simple fact. The way that you put these scalpers to the sword is very easy. Just don't buy the crap. Resist it. But it's interesting that I've seen this happen now on quite a number of games. I mentioned in my previous video on the subject, the 50th anniversary of Jaws, the 4K Blu-ray. Somebody was selling that for a ridiculous price on Amazon. Amazon themselves, for some reason, don't have it in stock, which I don't understand. I'm not going down there. There's a maniac with a leaf blower. Amazon themselves, for some reason, don't have it in stock. You'd think that a company a size of Amazon would have plenty, but they don't. I've had that on my wish list now for months. I will not pay the hundreds of pounds that the maniac on Amazon seems to want to sell his copies for. No. I think one of the documentaries which is contained on the disc, on the 4K disc, was actually on TV over the Christmas period. So I watched that. I already have the movie on DVD. I think it was what would it have been, the 30th anniversary? Whatever it was. Which is a really good edition on DVD. It's got tons of interviews, tons of bonus features. I would only be getting it for the obvious increase in the quality of the picture. But yeah, I noticed this quite a lot when it comes to physical media. A strange place for a shopping trolley. I don't know. The hell did he... Where's that from? Let's have a look. Normally it has the thing on it. Oh, it looks like Aldi. Aldi? How the hell did they get an Aldi trolley here? No Aldi round here. Well, not that I know of. Anyway. Because it's gone damp and cold. My nose is streaming. I have the most useless genetics. For somebody who lives in a subarctic location, my body's an idiot. Anyway, yeah. What was I saying? Yeah, you would think that Amazon themselves would have sufficient stock. And nobody in their right mind should ever pay more than the recommended retail price for something. Like I say, I mean, if I was that bothered, I could actually probably track it down on another supplier online. They would probably have it, another company. I mean, I would like it, but you know, I'm not gonna lose any sleep over not getting it. But it's the trend that seems to be occurring more and more with physical media. You know, I've already mentioned this, and I do find it annoying. I think, as I've said before, some of these online retailers need to do more. I think they could do more. Limit how many copies of things you can buy. Certainly. There's no reason for me why somebody should be able to buy dozens of copies of something. Yeah, not doing it, not having it. And like I say, I'm not falling for it. You know, it's in the same way I won't pay the asking price for the Commodore 64 Ultimate, the C64 Ultimate. I think it's too expensive for somebody outside of the US to buy it. You know, as I said before, it's not just buying the product, it's shipping it, and whatever taxes or import charges you're going to get, and then hoping to God that in the thousands of miles of transit, the thing arrives okay. It's quite a roll of the dice. But yeah, it seems to me like there's just this, I feel like we're being pushed towards digital only distribution, and I think that people aren't savvy enough to realise that, or aren't savvy enough to realise what it will cost them, what they'll lose. They'll certainly lose in terms of quality. And they will certainly lose in having control over their media. So, you know, I think people need to wise up. They need to stop being lazy. They need to stop being gormless and start to shop smarter. A line from Shop Smart. Shop S-Smart. Army of Darkness. For those of you that don't know, the legendary Bruce Campbell, his character Ash, utters that. On a couple of occasions actually in the movie, at the beginning, and then when he's showcasing his shotgun or his boomstick to the medieval hordes that he's protecting. Anyway, I'm going off on one there. You know, in fact, I think I will do a video on the original Evil Dead movies at some point, and the television show, which was absolutely awesome. Some of the best stuff, best horror, certainly some of the funniest horror that's ever been made. We'll come to that in a later video. But yeah, I mean, the main thing of this video isn't going to be about that. That's just an observation of mine. You know, the very apparent scarcity in quite a number of physical media, as Amazon seems to have surrendered or outsourced a lot of this to these rather unscrupulous third-party vendors. And they are, by the way, they are. You only have to read the reviews on a number of these people, and they're not good. They're not good. So I think when you marry it to the death of a lot of high street outlets here, especially in the UK, I don't know what it's like in other countries, but in the UK, it's the high street is on its backside. It's on its arse. It really is. Physical media is becoming quite the elusive thing, which is why these people are snapping this stuff up and selling it at high prices, by the way. But like I say, you just got to be disciplined and starve them. What they'll end up doing, they'll end up lowering the prices right down, so people will then buy it, and that's what you have to do. Capitalism. As a consumer, you have responsibilities. I've said this before. Don't just sit there doing naught. You have to get off your arse and fight back. It's a responsibility in a free market. As the consumer, you have to control what the prices the vendors set, not the other way around. It's an illusion that it's the other way around. It's not. I mean, it's very evident. I don't know why people don't cotton on to it, to be honest with you. How many companies go out of business because people stop shopping there because of the prices? You know, it's pretty easy to figure out. You just got to have the willpower to do it. So yeah. So you go cracking on into this new year. Yeah, it really is. Like, I don't think it's so much quiet in terms of people, lack of people. It's like that You know, when you've got like low clouds and or when it's like misty or something, you get that oppression of sound where everything feels boxed in. Sound doesn't travel as far because the air's denser. It certainly felt like that more at the beginning of the video when I was walking down the lane. It's kind of lifting a bit now. There is a bit of air starting to circulate. I can feel it. So at some point this year as well, I'm going to start going to another place. I'm just waiting for the weather to improve because the other place, the other park, is a big park. It's a big water park. Not like with like a theme park type water park. It's a nature reserve. But that floods quite badly when the weather's bad. There's a river that runs right through the middle of it. So I always think, you know, if it's like even slightly flooded here, it will be quite bad there. And that's quite a trek. I'm not going all the way there, only to marvel at the fact that there's nowhere for me to actually go when I get there without needing scuba gear. So I'm just going to wait probably till the springtime. We'll see. Might risk it for a biscuit one day. Before then, just to do a bit of a recon. Yeah. Crew. How are you, fella? Yeah, seagulls. Well, that's good, isn't it? What the hell am I going to talk about next? In the gaming space. Yeah. There are some games I'm keeping my eye on. Some are in early access at the moment. I'm keeping my eye on them. See how things go with them. I'm trying to ease up a little bit actually on the whole early access thing, and there's a reason for that, because I've got quite a few games that I'm playing at the moment they're in early access, and I'm mindful of the fact that they're not finished, mindful of the fact that, you know, I think that some of them are quite a ways away from getting the full release. And one of the things that has happened a few times with early access with me is I've played the game to death, and then when it's been released, its full version, there's not actually that much more content, if any at all, and I'm bored of it. I'm done with it. And you just think, oh, alright, here's the full release, and I've played the game to death, and there's not much else with it. You know, in the past when you had demos, it would be a short portion of the game to give you a taste of it. You know, it might be a level or a time demo or whatever, just to give you a bit of an appetizer. I remember the game Thundercats for the Commodore 64 back in the day. I had a demo for that, and I loved it, but it was just one level. And then when the game come out, I got the full game, and of course there was a hell of a lot more to do in it. There was a hell of a lot more levels, But now, with early access, quite often what's happening is you're getting the full game, or pretty much, or a sizable portion of the game, if nothing else. And when it's been released, sort of in dribs and drabs, you end up with it. You just end up with it all. You end up with getting it all, before it's fully released, and then that's kind of happened with Le Mans Ultimate for me. I was kind of expecting the full release of that game to actually have a single player championship in it, but it doesn't. So, yeah, you don't have the full single player experience going on. And I kind of eased up playing on it, really, because it feels like I've seen everything that it's got to offer. And I'd pretty much done that while it was still in early access. I mean, they were selling season passes and season packs while it was still in early access, which is a bit weird, really. And I'm not saying I feel like I've got my fingers burned with it. I still rate it as a very good racing game. But it's not. It's like, yeah, it rolled over to version 1 and you were like, alright, what you got for me? And it was nothing, really. So it's not really played it too much, actually, since it's rolled over. I think that was a bad thing for them. I think they should have made sure that they had extra game modes, such as the single player WEC Championship, actually ready to go at that point. I mean, it is the official World Endurance Championship game, but there is no World Endurance Championship mode. You don't get to take part in an ongoing season or anything like that in terms of scoring cumulative points to win a world championship in single player. So it just feels very anticlimactic, and that's kind of a lesson learned, I think. It's difficult because you want to support these smaller companies, these smaller dev teams, but it's not like you're getting a demo. I know most people wouldn't pay early access just for a demo. So it's a really hard balance to get. How do you do this? How do you balance it? Well, you can't. I mean, well, you can, but I mean, how would you do it? I think the way that I said, having that full-on championship mode be the thing that launches with, the version 1 of the game, when it goes into its full retail release version. I think you have to do things like that. Instead, we got more DLC. More, I think it was a couple of new circuits and some new cars, but that stuff, it's over and done with in one session, isn't it? This is why I ended up getting Assetto Corsa Competizione, which I probably butchered, but hey ho, because that actually does have proper championship modes in it. And when it was on offer, it had all of the additional content with it, which, you know, was additional circuits, additional championships and what have you. And when it was on offer, I got all of that for less than the price of the game itself. Its full retail price of the game itself. It was a no-brainer on Steam, and that's a great game, and that's one I've been playing more. And I feel bad really for it, because when I've played Le Mans Ultimate, I have enjoyed it, but I mean, I don't like playing racing games online. I think it's a dumpster fire at times. If you're playing with people you know and you're having a laugh, like we did back in the olden days on the 360 playing Forza, you know, playing Forza 2 and Burnout Paradise. When we were playing them games online and just having a laugh, you know, you're basically just having a massively multiplayer version of an episode of Top Gear. You know, like the test drive games that were on there, we played them online. We had a lot of fun with it. That's one thing. You know, it was absolute carnage at the start line in Forza 2. I mean, I actually saw cars getting quite airborne, going up into the sky. But we were just all having a laugh. But with these sim racers, people take it seriously. And it's, you know, for someone who, like myself, when you're racing online and you're racing to have fun, I can't get into that level of seriousness. You know, you just know that they're sat there with the racing wheels, the rigs, you know, the proper racing chairs, the full lot, the boy sat there with the crash helmet on and everything. I'm joking, but, you know, it's serious for them. And I just think that me being sat there, I mean, I do have a racing wheel. I don't have a racing setup though, I just have a wheel and pedals. It's a pretty good one. But at the moment, I just have nowhere to put it. But, you know, that's by the by. The seriousness with which they're doing it, you know, and there's penalty systems and you can get banned and all this kind of business. And that would feel very arbitrary to me. It's too intense. I just want to have a laugh, have a bit of fun. You know, I don't want a too serious, intense experience. Not saying that I would, you know, go out there to be, you know, like a dirty racer or anything like that. But I don't want to be dealing with it on that level of intensity. Not at all. So, yeah, I think you have that whole thing with when stuff becomes too serious and when it's supposed to be a bit of fun. So that's why I steer well clear of playing them games online. It's a shame. I mean, in the past, you know, I do miss those days sometimes, but that crowd went away. I mean, even when I was playing, you could see there was more of a serious element coming into it. People who were acting as if they were playing in a online tournament for money. That started to happen more and more in Call of Duty. You know, with a group of people we were playing with, it's like some people just began to take it too seriously. And it just started to ruin it a little bit, really. I think that's why that sort of crowd dispersed. You know, you can have your competitions and what have you. That's all very well and good. You have your tournaments. I'm all for it. Esports, I'm all for it. But when you just sat at home and it's supposed to be casual, it's like, leave it out, guys. Let people have a bit of fun. There's enough bloody misery in the world, you know. Just let people have some fun. I mean, I can't imagine trying to play something like Call of Duty these days or Battlefield 6 online these days. I think it would be a thoroughly miserable experience, to be honest. I remember some of the absolute lunatic things we used to get up to in vehicles. You know, you've probably never seen helicopters fly at the angles that we had them flying at. You know, fully laden with people on board. It's like, yep, we're all about to die. But it was hilarious. Not so much Top Gun Maverick, more like Top Gun Tragic. But we had a laugh. But I don't think that mood prevails today. I really don't. I think when people buy the game, it'll be like, right, I'm going to spend 30 hours a day practicing. And yes, I did say 30 hours a day deliberately practicing, and then learn the maps inside out and then act like I'm really going to war. And it's like, oh, start shouting at people for, you know, for wanting to do their thing and have their own enjoyment with it. And you know what? I saw that really starting at E3, funnily enough. I remember when the Rainbow Six, God, what was it called now? I actually had it. That was one of the last lot of games that I played online with the handful of people that I knew from the gaming website I used to be a part of. It wasn't, oh God, which one was it now? Was it Siege? It might have been Rainbow Six Siege. And we just messed about in that and had a good laugh, had a good time. However, when they unveiled that at E3, they had these people playing it, you know, to demo it. And you've got these bloody teenage kids talking like they're actually part of a special forces unit. It was hilarious, actually. But they were taking it so seriously, you know, giving out all of these orders and coming out with all of this, what they thought was sort of military lingo, you know, all trying to act like, you know, like I say, they're all trying to be some kind of special forces or act like the special forces. It's hilarious because you've got these like scrawny ass teenagers doing it, and you're like, if you shot a gun in their vicinity, they'd all collectively shit themselves. But anyway, you know, give them a keyboard and a headset and a copy of Rainbow Six Siege, and you know, it's Bravo 2-0. It's absolutely hilarious. So, but yeah, it all sort of started to stem from that, because it was like they were sort of, this is how we play the game. And then I noticed it when you were playing against people online at that time. They were sort of trying to act the same, and it was just ridiculous. It's like, you're not, you're a muppet playing a video game like the rest of us. Knock it off. But that's, you sort of have the origins of these type of things in there. That was the perception of marketing people at Ubisoft and at Microsoft and at Sony. That was the perception that their marketing department had of how people were playing. And it's nothing like that. You can just tell it, that's where it came from. They were coached these people were probably actors. Not very good ones either, I hasten to add. But that's probably what they were. And they were being coached into, or told what to say, how to behave, because they think, oh, that'll help sell the game. I remember when watching it online and just watching the comment section, and those people were getting a lot of abuse. And I was like, yeah, that is what it's like online. They missed the part out where you just get the piss taken out of you all the time. So, yeah, it was kind of hilarious to me seeing that. But yeah, that started to be, that started to set the trend online. That started to be the thing online. And it was laughable, to be honest. It was really laughable. And that was it for me. Then I was like, this isn't fun. You're playing with a bunch of kids who, you think they're something that they're not. But yeah, to say that was kind of how I ended up not doing the online thing anymore. It's just too many plonkers who are taking it all too seriously. And the thing was, one of the things was just, you could laugh at how frustrated they were getting because no one was listening to them. Yeah, they're like, listen to me. I'm gonna tell you, this squad move over here and this squad move over there, and everyone's just going, yeah. And this squad's gonna move on your mother, And you could just tell they were getting really irate, and he's like, welcome to the jungle, pal. But over time, it's like everything else, the pendulum swings, doesn't it? And I see it in the forums for some of these racing games online, and you see the videos online of the sim racing community online. I mean, they don't look like they're having an awful lot of fun when they're making videos dissecting how somebody who brushed the rear of their car and sent them off the track, how this person needs to be banned from existence. It's like, you don't sound like you're having a lot of fun there, sunshine. You're not selling it. And that's what I mean, it's like a bear pit. It's like, I'm not getting into that. I mean, I think if some of them had been playing in our Forza sessions that we had, particularly say Forza 2, they would have probably had some kind of nervous breakdown. I mean, we didn't tend to, because we were arsing about having fun. Brakes were optional. We had, I remember there was I can't remember the name of the circuit, but it was like a very narrow, tight, mountainous circuit in Japan. I don't know which Forza game it was in. It was either 2 or 3. And we all chose the slowest, most ridiculously worst cars that you could get to race on this circuit. And it was absolute carnage, because we put the damage on. And it was really like, last man standing was going to win. It's just so many of us, the cars were doing like 2 miles an hour with smoke coming out of the engine and the wheels facing the wrong way. But we had a laugh. We all had a laugh doing it. But that's just not, I don't see too much of that. And it's a shame really, because, these devs, they put a lot of a lot of time and effort into their games. But I suppose it's always comes down to interpretations of fun, doesn't it? What do people consider to be fun with a game? Personally speaking, I think if you're having a laugh with it, you know, and you find silly, funny things with it. I mean, I can have a laugh playing the Soulsborne games. There's a number of times I've tried to be a smart arse and somersaulted clean off a cliff. I mean, you just got to laugh at yourself, haven't you? But some people start like headbutting the bloody keyboard and stuff, and it's like, you know, or trying to eat the controller, or in some cases trying to stick the controller up their own arse. I mean, the reaction's funny, but you do question the sanity of these individuals. I remember seeing a video of some guy had milk on his face. This is years ago. I think it was with Modern Warfare 2. I think it's quite a famous video. And he's in his bedroom and he's like almost crying about Modern Warfare 2, and then he punches the wall, splits his knuckles open. But what the thing I couldn't help but notice in the video was the fact that his radiator was on his bed, you know, rather than being attached to the pipes and attached to the wall. And I was thinking, was that part of his temper tantrum? Was pulling the radiator off the wall? I mean, witnessing it's funny, you know. If it was my kid, it wouldn't be his knuckles that would be split and bleeding, I'll tell you that for nothing. And he'd be getting off his arse and getting a job to pay for the damage. But, yeah, it wouldn't be Modern Warfare 2 he'd have to be worrying about upsetting him, let's put it that way. But, yeah, I think sometimes it's like, you know, I don't think this thing's doing you any good. I don't think it's, I don't think this is turning out to be quite the healthy experience for you. Anyway, talking about healthy experiences, I think I've done my walk. I've got my miles in. I think in total I do about close to 5 miles, I think, today. Because it's not all what I film. I do quite a bit of walking around my filming. You only get part of it. You only get part of it. And I want to get home, get this edited, get it uploaded, and then see what happens with the storm. If it does come here, we always get these amber warnings, and then it's like this, and you see like the weather on the TV, and it's like Armageddon, and you're just there like, oh, I guess not here. So anyway, we'll see what happens tomorrow, whether we're still here after this storm, apparently, and I will catch you all then. In the meantime, stay safe, play your games, have fun, and don't pull any radiators off walls or try and stick controllers up your arse, because it's weird. Anyway, catch you all later.